thank you for joining me today as we look at Psalm 114, which is the second psalm that we say during Hallel. It begins with, when Israel went forth from Egypt, or beit Yisrael mi-Mitzrayim. The psalm itself gives us imagery of nature reacting to God's miracles. We see that the Jordan flowed backwards, the sea fled in terror from these miracles, and even the mountains and hills ran away. And sort of one of the ideas that we see is that even nature sort of is at God's will, that God's will is that cosmic, that the laws of nature can be bent by God, of course, by no one else. Another piece of this psalm that I thought was really interesting were the mentions of the kingdom of Judah and Israel. And so that leads scholars to believe that this was a psalm that was composed later when the exiles were actually returning to Babylon after the destruction of the temple. I know a few different melodies for beit Yisrael. I'll begin with the one that is most familiar. In the middle, it breaks into a call and response, so please enjoy. Beit Yisrael mi-Mitzrayim, beit Ya'akov mam'shelotav, hayta Yehudah lekodsho, Yisrael mam'shelotav, Ha-yam va-yanos, ha-Yarden yisov He-harim rak'du kiv'nei tzon, Ha-yam tanus, ha-Yarden tisov He-harim tir'k'du kiv'nei tzon, Mi-lif'nei Adon, a-retz, mi-lif'nei Elo'ah Ya'akov, ha-hof'hi ha-tzur, agam mayim, halamish, mayim. Another melody that I have done for beit Yisrael actually sort of came about by necessity. As we've been doing these virtual worship services, I've realized that doing a call and response with the congregation was a little difficult. There's just always that lag. So I looked for another melody that didn't have that call and response. And I actually used a melody that I used later in the Hallel for Baruch Haba. I used that for beit Yisrael, and it worked really well. Beit Yisrael mi-Mitzrayim, beit Ya'akov mam'shelotav, hayta Yehudah lekodsho, Yisrael mam'shelotav, ha-yam va-yanos, ha-Yarden yisov He-harim rak'du kiv'nei tzon, Ha-yam tanus, ha-Yarden tisov He-harim tir'k'du kiv'nei tzon, Mi-lif'nei Adon a-retz, mi-lif'nei Elo'ah Ya'akov, ha-hof'hi ha-tzur, agam mayim, halamish mayim. I also found a third beit Yisrael composed by Samuel Rosenbaum. And I'd never done it before, so it was fun to learn a new melody. So you have no choice but to indulge me, but I hope you enjoy. beit Yisrael mi-Mitzrayim, beit Yaakov me'am lo'ez, hayta Yehudah lekodsho, Yisrael mam'shelotav, Ha-yam va-yanos, ha-Yarden yisov le'achor, He-harim rak'du, kiv'nei tzon, ha-yam tanus, ha-Yarden tisov le'achor, He-harim tir'k'du, kiv'nei tzon, mi-lif'nei Adon a-retz, mi-lif'nei Elo'ah Ya'akov, ha-hof'hi, ha-tzur, kiv'nei tzon. Thank you so much. We've actually concluded studying Hallel together. We celebrate Shavuot at the end of this week. So I wish everybody mo'adim l'simcha. I hope you really have a wonderful Chag Shavuot sameach, and I will see you next week. Bye now.